Alright guys, so before I get into the video, I just want to say a few things. I am going to be doing another deck giveaway, so all you have to do is go down in the comments and literally say anything that you want, and then I'll pick a winner from there. So to start off the trick, I'm just going to show you we can mix up the deck, and if you were here, I'd let you give the deck a couple cuts. As you can see, just continue cutting the cards, and these are complete cuts, so I don't really have any breaks. And at this point, let's say you were to cut the deck. Let's say right here you cut the deck. So from here, okay, you picked any spot to cut the cards, and I can show you the two cards you happen to pick are right here. I don't necessarily want to look at them, so I'll just show you them. Okay, so let's see if I can't see them. So in this case, if you can see it on the camera, these are the two cards that you selected. Now at this point, all I'm going to do is cut them into the middle of the deck, and you can see I clearly have no breaks. I have no idea where they're at. If you were here, I'd let you cut the deck up, so this way you can lose them in the pack as well. So let's say I give the deck another cut. Now at this point, all I want to do is separate the deck into 4 different piles. So I'm going to be doing this in this exact motion, just like this, and I'll speed up the video. This way you won't see me here just dealing out cards. Alright, so at this point I have completely dealt out every single packet here. You're going to have to trust me, I really fairly dealt these out. And now at this point, all I want to do is mix up the deck even more. So I'll take these 2 packets like this. I'll shuffle these together. As you can see, the cards are clearly going together and do the same thing. With this packet, I'll take the cards, mix them together, and then what I'm going to do is I'll take one packet and flip this one upside down. I'll take the other packet and I'll shuffle it face up and face down just like this. So as you can see, the cards really are getting mixed together. Okay, so I'm not doing any false shuffles. Mix the cards together, and I'll do it again so you can see it. And I can even give the deck over to you, and if you were here, I'd let you shuffle the deck as well. So you can see the cards are really getting mixed up face down into face up. So at this point, all I'm going to do is just snap my fingers, and as you can see, on one side of the deck, we have an entire group of black cards, and these are the only black cards that are facing upwards. And as you can see, there's one card that's actually red, and this card should actually be one of your selections. So in this case, you have the red 6 of diamonds. Square up the deck. You can mix it up as well. So let's say if you're here, I'd let you mix up the deck. You can go through and shuffle it. And now in this case, snap our fingers again. As you can see, in the entire deck, now we only have the face-up red cards, and the only card that's face-up, that's black, is your selection, the 2 of clubs. So this is a trick, guys, and if you want to learn how to do it, don't forget to stick around for the tutorial. Alright, so here's how the trick is going to work. So unfortunately, there's a small setup, so what you have to do is actually take the entire deck and interlace it red and black throughout the entire deck. As you can see, I'll spread it for you guys so you can see it. You just want to make sure that every single card is red and black like this throughout the entire deck, and that is the only setup. So let's say you've done this, you've completely taken the deck, you've interlaced it. Now at this point, you can begin by showing the spectators the cards, and you can show them and say, look, there's no order or anything, and you can just kind of spread out the cards. I'm sure they're not going to notice that they're perfectly interlaced or anything, so you can show them the cards. You can either give the deck a few cuts, you can have the spectators cut up the deck, but you don't really want to mix up the cards like a riffle shuffle or anything. And at this point, let's say the spectator went ahead and just cut the cards up a few times. You want to make sure that the spectator isn't cutting the cards into separate packets like this. Just make sure they're cutting it in half and completing the cut like this. So at this point, let's say you have the spectators cut the deck one more time, and wherever they cut, you can pick up the packet and you can show them and say, look, these are going to be your 2 cards. Now, it's important when you take that second packet from the bottom, the one that they cut from, you want to make sure that you take the top 2 cards and take the top card and put it underneath, and then show the cards to the spectator, because what this does is this messes up the whole red and black order that you had going through the deck, and you'll see why this matters in a second. So let's say you show them the cards. Now in this case, you're not going to be looking at them, so you kind of show to the spectator, and you're not going to know them until the end of the trick. So at this point, let's say you show them the cards, and in this case, it's the 2 of clubs and the 8 of hearts. Now, these, as you can see, these cards are actually different colors. So if you have the spectator cuts somewhere and they're both the same color, you know you've already done something wrong. So at this point, you have the 2 different color cards. You leave that back on top. You can just complete the rest of the cut, and you can ask your spectators to cut the cards into the deck. So let's say they cut up the deck a little bit like this. You can show them, you can tell them, look, you have no breaks, you have no idea where their cards are going to be at. So at this point, you just keep having the spectator cut up the cards. Okay, they can cut it as many times as they like. It doesn't really matter. So at this point, let's say they've cut up the deck. Now all you have to do is take this deck and tell them that you're going to make 4 separate piles. So you can go like this, you go left to right, and you come back in this. You have to do it exactly the way I'm doing it, and this will separate the deck, and you'll see what I mean in a second. So at this point, you just go back and forth throughout the entire deck, and then once I'm done, I'll show you what the cards look like face up. That way you can see what exactly is going on here. So during this portion of the trick, this is why you've actually reversed the order of the top 2 cards, because what happened here is when we dealt out all the cards, as you can see in this packet, what you should have is an all red packet here with an opposing black card, and this is actually one of their selections. And then in the second packet, you should have all black cards with 1 red card, and that being their red selection. And then in the 2 piles over here, you're going to have a plain red deck and a plain black deck, as you can see. So you basically just separated the cards. And now at this point, what you want to do is, if you dealt the cards left to right, what you want to do is you want to take the first and the third pile and just mix these up. And you can actually have the spectator mix them up if you want. And all I have to do is a riffle shuffle. You can say, look, I'll mix up the deck even more like this, and you just square up the cards, and you can have them do the same thing now with the second and fourth pile. Mix it together, square it up, and now at this point you're going to tell them that you're going to mix up the deck face up into face down. So you can flip over any packet, it really doesn't matter which one it is, so just make sure one's face up and one's face down. And again, you can have them do this as well, just have them shuffle up the cards. You can show them that you're squaring it up just like this. It's a really clean shuffle, and again, you can do a separate riffle shuffle if you want. Square up the cards, and at this point you can even give the deck to them once more, and they can do an overhand shuffle. And now from here, the trick is set up. So let's say you go to the deck, keep shuffling, and at this point you can just set the deck down, snap your fingers, and on one side you're going to have a completely black face up deck, as you can see, and the only card that's face up that's the opposing color is their selection. So in this case we have the 8 of hearts. This is one of their selections, and you can just pick the deck up and say, look, I'll give it one more shuffle. And you casually, you don't really make a big deal, but you kind of just flip the deck over, so you don't announce that you're flipping it, but you're just kind of flipping it in this motion. This way when you shuffle the cards, now the red cards should be face up, and you can have the spectator shuffle it again just like this. So at this point you can set the deck down, stab your fingers, whatever you want to do, spread the deck. You can show them that all the cards are red and they're all face up except for one card, which is their selection. So this is the trick, guys. I hope you guys like it. Don't forget to do the deck giveaway, and as always, thanks for watching.